And we are live. Welcome to the Political Orphans. My name is Nico Lagan. To my left, my co-host, Rob Ambrose. And together with our audience, we've created a space where people from all political affiliations can have civil conversation to find solutions to the problems that we face. Here are the top stories of the day. Carney is bringing back the carbon tax. Investors are fleeing Canada for the first time in 35 years. Mélanie Joly told Pierre Poilievre to look in the mirror. Carney said yesterday that an attack on Latvia is an attack on Canada, and we have so many more topics to cover. Get your comments ready because the show starts now. What's going on?
What's happening, brother? I heard that this carbon tax thing. I saw Poilievre's big speech, and also an attack on Latvia is attacking Canada. Nah, bro, that's not correct.
Of course, no, it is. It is. Don't forget, Mark Carney is the big boy now. He's wearing the big pants, and he's telling Europe that we're going to save them. That's basically what's going to happen, because he went to the Ukraine and told them that, oh yeah, if we need to, we'll put boots on the ground. Now he's telling Latvia that attacking, basically he's talking to Russia, saying that if you attack Latvia, it's like attacking Canada.
Yeah,
so basically nothing's gonna happen. Nothing. Yeah. I'm sorry, but could he be more moronic?
I mean, is Latvia in NATO? Okay, yeah, they are actually.
Yes.
Then why? That's exactly why you don't bring in these Eastern European countries into NATO and then promise, because technically that's the deal with NATO, is if they get attacked, you have to act like it's an attack on you. But why are we doing this? How does this benefit Canada?
No, but why the hell are we even talking about it?
Yeah, because even if they
all
do
know this, we all know this.
Yeah, even if they do,
if you attack a NATO country, you're going to piss off the rest of NATO. So you're going to get a bunch of letters from European countries telling you not to do, stop doing it.
Yeah, sternly worded letters. Europe's going to ask to talk to the manager of Russia.
Exactly.
I'd like to speak to the manager,
bro. Hey, bro, you can't do that.
Yes, I can. Okay, well, we tried.
Yeah, we did our best.
We're telling America. Oh, yeah, we're going to tell America.
Yeah, exactly. That's about the ultimate power that we have. We will tell America, but unfortunately for us, America is not really listening right now. So
yeah. I don't think America's going to care too much. Yeah.
Oops. No. It's virtue signaling 101. It's the type of stuff that he could just shut the hell up.
Yeah, like you don't need to talk about it. You don't need.
He's making it look stupid. He's making us look so dumb on the international stage.
Even if theoretically we were going to treat an attack on Latvia or as if it's an attack on Canada, which we should not. But even if we were, like, why even announce it? Why even talk about it, right? Like, what's that saying? Speak softly and carry a big stick. We speak loudly, but we don't have a stick. We do the opposite.
We have a midget prime minister. That's what we have. We went from having pretty sucks Justin Trudeau to midget Mark Carney.
Midget Mark.
Midget what? Mark midget Carney.
Midget Mark.
Midget Mark. Yeah.
It's just another long line of things Mark Carney does not have to say.
Yeah.
Even if you let's even just for the sake of just to distill it down, even if you agreed with those policies, same thing as the Palestine thing, why say it now? Yeah, as Bumpy says, yell loudly with a tiny pecker. That's Canada. That's us.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. And tiny hands.
Yeah.
His hands freak me out. Have you ever look at him speak? He has the tiniest, softest, feminine hands. They creep me out.
Little lady fingers.
Yeah. Yep. That dude freaks me out. He really looks like Burns from The Simpsons.
Mr. Burns.
Like he looks like Mr. Burns.
Monty Burns. That's too funny. Leah, how's it going? Wise Guy says, hey guys, of course we all knew Carney would bring back the tax somehow. Yeah, I think we all kind of assumed this. It's not a huge surprise. Alberta Nan, good morning to you. And she says about Carney, he thinks it makes him relevant. Yeah, I mean, it kind of, I don't know, it reminds me of like all this stuff is going on in the global arena, right? Like Europe, America, Russia, Ukraine, and Mark's like on the sides, like trying desperately to get, you know what I mean?
Pay attention to me. I'm here.
Pass me, I'm open, pass me. He is open around. Everyone's just playing the game, just completely ignoring him.
Yeah. Yep.
Desperately trying to get it. Hey, Ukraine will give you another $1 billion. Come on, let us play. But
let us play. But yeah, he's a bench warmer.
Yeah. Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Yeah, put me in, coach.
Yeah, I'm ready to play today. Put me
sure
in,
you
coach.
are, but sure you are. So yeah, are there comments you want to take, or do you get started?
Just the typical bumpy dude looks like a goblin.
He does. Have you ever seen his teeth?
Derek Carney equals Gollum. Yeah, just.
Have you seen his teeth?
No. Are they like little goblin?
Hold on.
Little goblin.
Not
teeth?
Only that, but they're yellow.
Oh shit, bro! Like, how rich are you, man? Can you afford?
Can
you not afford veneers or something?
Oh, just a cleaning.
Yeah, it's like bare minimum.
You
go to the dentist, bro.
Please
brush your teeth.
We urge you. We urge you, please.
You've heard of Butterface? He's a butter teeth.
No, he's a butter everything. He's a butter teeth. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, butter teeth.
Like hold on. Let me show you this. Like
flashing those pearly yellows.
See, it's just like
shit, bro. Yeah, clean them shits, man. You're rich, bitch.
Yeah. Fuck. And right now, you don't even need to pay for it.
Oh yeah, I think Bumpy's nailed it here. He just wants to fit in with the British.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
He's got the British teeth to go with the European identity. That's what it is. He picked up the oral hygiene habits of the Brits when he worked there for a couple of years.
Did you know that he's considered one of the most handsome guys in the UK? No, I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, they're ugly. I agree.
Well, those teeth probably make him more attractive in the UK.
But it is true that UK people, I'm sorry if we have some England listeners there.
Oh, it's a real thing.
They're not pretty.
I think in the modern, like these days, maybe it's a little less so, but the British teeth thing, that's absolute, especially like of a, probably 50 and older. And
the whiteness too, man. They don't get a lot of sun there.
Yeah, it's just, it's not, it's a good thing they conquered the world there about 150 years ago, because I think they had nothing else going to them.
That's true, though. Because have you seen Mr. Bean when he looks like normal?
Isn't he? He looks like a normal guy, doesn't he? When he's normal.
Actually, he's not an unattractive guy. His wife is kind of hot. His daughter's hot.
Yeah, because when he's in character, he's like,
yeah. Oh, see that. We'll stop it on that, but Bumpy's absolutely right. This is what Mark Carney. So basically, Mike Myers.
Wow. Yeah, go ahead.
Austin Powers used Mark Carney's teeth as the mold for his teeth in Austin Powers. Yeah, that's bang on, actually.
This is what you get on the show, hard-hitting political commentary. we just rip people's looks like, what about his politics? Yeah, who cares about that? What about his teeth?
Oh, we all know he's an ass. We all know he's an ass politically, but I don't know. But okay, it just speaking of trolls, you can control. You can control what you look like.
Like there's certain things you can't do, but you can brush your teeth. You can brush your teeth. You can go to a dentist, get a clean.
Totally allowed. Yeah. Totally allowed. Totally allowed. Yeah. So
all right,
let's get
back to the actual.
Let's actually get serious for like 3 seconds while I play the video. Here's Pierre Poilievre addressing the fact that Carney is bringing back the carbon tax. He's just naming it something different.
Around Atlantic Canada, meeting the brilliant, hardworking maritime workers. Yesterday, we visited Irving shipyards to meet with the welders the electricians, the scaffolders, the pipe fitters, and the countless other trades there that are doing incredible work to build the battle fleet of our future. Thank God for them and for the sailors who will ride and drive and those beautiful ships. We also met yesterday with industrial divers at Dominion. They not only do they dive, but they also used
The divers dive.
technology that goes
Divers
into the
do
sea
dive.
and does the work under the water that is needed for our energy, our offshore, and countless other sectors that rely on our oceans.
Okay, I gotta stop it. I gotta stop it for a second because this is exactly why he doesn't do podcasts. Because divers dive.
Well,
Don't forget, divers dive.
He started to lose it there when he's talking about our sailors who drive the ships. Like, well, they don't really. They don't drive the ships. They sail on them.
Shit.
So
I just realized something. This is a 20-minute video.
Okay, yeah.
This
So
is definitely not what I wanted to show. Hold on.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that while you
Yes.
find a clip. So I think he's in Halifax there because I know Dominion Diving is in Dartmouth. So
the divers dive in
the divers,
in your neck of the wood?
they dive there. Over here in the East Coast, the divers dive here.
Divers dive.
It's funny, right? He's talking about the welders, and I'm thinking, I can just picture this guy. He's probably like put like gloves on and had a mask on, so he doesn't have to touch the working class at all.
The welders weld. The divers dive.
The
the
pipe fitters
holding guys, calf holding.
Yeah, the pipe fitters. They were laying pipe. They were fitting the pipes.
That is some brilliant political speak right there.
Yeah, because usually, I mean, that's his strength, right? Is just polished, canned political speech, and even that, I mean, that wasn't his best work there.
No, because it was freestyling. He wasn't reading.
That's why
off of a teleprompter. That's why. This right there is exactly why he didn't want to do any type of podcast that was not controlled.
Well, yeah,
that you have to show up and answer the question because, bro, he sounded like you for a second. Like divers.
We do these things. Yes.
No, but there was one, the Department of Repetition. What was it?
The Department of Redundancy Department. You know, Nan's got it here. She says, it's so funny listening to how politicians try to talk about industries they know nothing about. Yeah, I mean, that's
divers dive, bro.
The divers are diving, the welders are welding, the sailors are driving. Oh, no, wait, they're sailing.
And I'm sorry for the sailors out there. Every time I hear the word sailors, all I can think about is the YMCA song. That's it. I just, like the Navy, like the sailors, just, in the Navy. They ruined it. They ruined it. So here's the video. I believe this is what I was looking for. The carbon tax 2.0. That's his new slogan.
Okay.
Mark Carney is bringing back the carbon tax 2.0. He calls it the Clean Fuel Standard, Clean Fuel Regulations. According to the Parliamentary Budget Officer, it will add 17 cents a liter to your gas. What did the last carbon tax add to your gas? 17 cents a liter. The new tax is starting to look a lot like the old tax. And Mark Carney thinks no one will notice. Well, conservatives have noticed, and that is why we are announcing today that we are making it a priority to boost take-home pay and reverse the liberal cost of living crisis by opposing Mark Carney's carbon tax 2.0. We want to axe all carbon taxes for good, for real, for everyone, forever. We want to increase your purchasing power because we know it's not just gas and diesel. Everything that comes in a truck will be more expensive when you tax fuel. And if you got it,
when you tax,
bought it, brought it. So we
fuel.
No, but do you know why he's hesitating? Listen to the background. He has a can or something behind that Canada sign, and he hit it twice, so it's kind of freaking him out. Like, just pay attention. Like, you'll see it goes kickling, and he's like, tax is tax.
Yeah.
hold on.
He's opposing Mark Carney's carbon tax 2.0. We want to axe all carbon taxes for good, for real, for everyone, forever. We want to increase your purchasing power because we know
it's like the wind or something. He's getting scared.
Everything that comes in a truck will be more expensive when you tax fuel. And if you got it, when you tax fuel. It's going to be more expensive when you tax fuel.
So I'm
You
telling
got
you,
it.
there's something there. He
truck
hit it.
bought
And he's
it.
just like,
Brought it. So we
Uh-oh.
need to get rid of the carbon.
a working class man.
but so welders weld,
Yeah,
divers dive, and taxes tax.
and politicians politic. I think okay, so yeah, let's do the actual analysis here.
We're serious now. We're serious.
Yes, it's a very serious show. I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, this is obviously the low-hanging fruit. This is a gimme. You should oppose any more carbon taxes. I guess when I see this, I feel like this is all he's going to talk about. You know what I mean? And I think that they're just going to. Remember we said yesterday? I was like, Poilievre, you got to bang the drum on these issues. This isn't really that. This is just one of those things. Like, look, just say in your speeches, once I'm prime minister, we'll get rid of this tax, because you can get rid of it very easily once prime minister. It doesn't need to be like the only thing you bang on about. To me, he needs to be talking about immigration. He needs to be talking about healthcare. He needs to be talking about crime. Those, frankly, are, we can all agree that the carbon tax is stupid, but it's also the kind of thing liberals are going to do. And frankly, it's going to hurt them. Let them do it. You know what I mean? Let them put another 17 cents tax on, because then you can run against it. But it sounds like he's doing like an all hands on deck thing for this one thing, to the exclusion of every other thing that's affecting Canada and Canadians. And when if I'm wrong, if this isn't what he's doing, okay, then I'll eat that. But you know what? When I see that, it almost it feels like evidence in support of the, you said controlled opposition. You use that term a lot. Sort of like, this theater, like we'll fight about something to make the peasants think that we're actually on opposite sides, and we'll just back and forth. And I can see it already. The next 6, 12, 18 months is going to be liberals carbon tax and conservatives no carbon tax. And that's it. That's all they're going to talk about, to the exclusion of every other issue. When frankly, yeah, I mean, look, fine, oppose the carbon tax. We should. But once you've said that, that's it. What else is there to say about it? Elect me and I'll get rid of it. Easy. Okay, now let's talk about immigration. Now let's talk about crime. Now let's talk about healthcare. So I don't know. I'm
happy to see that you're starting to realize that, because I say it all the time. To me, Pierre Poilievre is controlled opposition. I've said it so many times, and every single time he has a chance to prove me wrong, he doesn't. Every time he has a super easy chance to shine, he doesn't. Like, we were talking about this with David Creighton yesterday, and I'm like, why is Pierre Poilievre not speaking against what Carney said in Ukraine, saying that we're ready to put boots on the ground?
Yeah, these are bigger issues than the carbon tax, frankly.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Like, don't get me wrong.
$1 million pound. I'd rather 17 cents on a liter than the World War III.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, look, we can all agree. An extra 17 cents, nobody wants it. So say that. We're going to fight the carbon tax. Elect me, we'll get rid of it. Okay, fine. Now that's said, let's talk about the shit that actually matters.
Yes.
But that's not what's going to happen. You can already see it, right? He's going to make this the hill that he dies on. Not one more step forward for the carbon tax. And it's not one of those things that needs that kind of treatment. It doesn't need an all hands on deck. Everybody knows that you're a Conservative Party leader. You're going to oppose the carbon tax. Great. It's one of those things. We already know it. If you're really strongly opposed to this, you're going to already vote Conservative. And if you're strongly in support of a carbon tax at this point, there's nothing that can be said that's going to convince you otherwise. So why are you beating this kind of a horse? It's like they're picking the battles that already have the battle lines drawn. There's probably very few Conservatives who support the carbon tax right now. And there's probably very few people who support it that are persuadable. So why? It's a safe battle.
But that's what he's been doing his whole career, especially since he's been trying to become prime minister. He always runs on issues trying to convince the left that he's the right man for the job. You'll never convince them. They don't like you. They don't like you. They won't vote for you. So stop trying. Instead, talk to your base. Just like I posted a video earlier, and it's basically, David was saying that on the show yesterday, where Ukraine, there's no conservative out there that supports Zelensky. and to keep on giving him more money. I guarantee you won't find one conservative out there that actually believes we should continue giving Zelensky money.
But
so
I bet you there's quite a few liberals who don't want to.
Of course. The point is that he has nothing to lose by addressing the problem of Ukraine, saying,
yes, he doesn't lose anything.
Fuck out of Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to put boots there. We're not going to give them $4.3 billion or whatever, the $6.3 billion now, because Carney promised another $2 billion. So why is he not addressing that? It's right in the news. It's right there. Everybody's looking for it. It's trending everywhere, yet crickets. Oh, hey, let's talk about carbon tax 2.0.
Nonstop for the next
I don't want to
12 months.
talk. I don't want to spend 17 cents more a liter. Nobody does. But why do you not have the balls to speak against Ukraine? Plus, you don't need that much courage to do it because your crowd does not want to be fucking involved in Ukraine.
No. And it's just, it's an important issue that it needs to be talked about. It needs to be, the Canadian public, they need to, because most people are, I don't want to call them dumb, but most people are just not that engaged, right? They're going to take their cues from the media. And they're going to decide which issues are important based on what's in the news. So even if you don't persuade anybody on Ukraine, by talking about it, you signal to the rest of Canada, that the 60% who's not watching the news every single day, who's not consuming it, you're telling them that this is not an issue that is a consensus that we all agree on, right? You're telling them there are people who disagree with this, who do not want us to send troops to Ukraine. And there's, frankly, a ton of people who do not think that we should be sending troops to Ukraine. It's just, he's great at like politics in the performance way, but not good at politics in the way that actually matters. You know what I mean? Kind of the opposite of Donald Trump. Again, we've talked a lot. I'm not any big fan of Donald Trump, but I mean, you do have to give credit where it's due. He's got certain strengths. He's terrible at the kind of politics that Poilievre is great at, which is optics and looking good and saying the right things and not offending too many people. He's really bad at that, but he's good at the kind of politics that does matter in the sense of he knows what people want and he gives it to them. You know what I mean? Whereas Poilievre, I don't know, like again, we've talked about, I'm still this idea that all of politics is just a game being played and dictate a show dictated by shadowy figures that we're not aware. I mean, that to me, that's not something that I'll just easily accept, but I do have eyes and a brain.
Give me time.
And, that when I see stuff like this, it does make me think, holy shit, maybe there's something to that. Because he's taking an issue that's very safe in the sense that, like, almost every conservative is going to be against carbon tax, sure. But it's safe in the sense that it's not going to move the needle in any way. You're not going to convince any liberals on carbon tax, but you can convince liberals on immigration. There are a lot of liberals who are looking at immigration and be like, I don't feel comfortable with this. I don't accept this. And maybe they're thinking, they're still like, I don't want to be racist, so I can't. So then Poilievre, it's his job to sound like Danielle Smith sounds, right? Make the case for less or lower or no immigration in a non-racist way that is persuadable and palatable to the average liberal. That's how you move the needle. But he doesn't want to move the needle. You're not moving the needle on the carbon tax. There are very few liberals who are going to vote conservative because of a carbon tax. Because most of them, you're not. No. But the trans issue, immigration, healthcare, these are all issues that you can move the needle with liberals. But he doesn't, or it seems like he doesn't want to.
He does not want to. He is not. See, there's a perfect comment. Because hold on before you go. See, this is what I say all the time. He's not a true conservative. He needs to. Somebody posted that on one of our videos this morning. Pierre Poilievre needs to have the balls to do what's right. I'm like, he doesn't have them. They're not there. Even if he reaches as deep as he can, though, he does not have the courage to stand up for what is right. Like, just let's talk about the carbon tax, because he's going to beat that drum for months now. And I agree with you. That's probably exactly what's going to happen. He's never spoken against the Paris Accord. He's never said that he would withdraw us from the Paris Accord, but he's all up in arms against the carbon tax. The carbon tax is to match the Paris Accord, is to fit within that Paris Accord. So why not say that as the prime minister, I would axe the Paris Accord?
So he's treating the symptom, but not the cause, right?
Of course, because he doesn't have the balls to say what I just said. Now, the real question is, and I believe that he is one, I think Poilievre's a globalist. Because he was on the WEF, he's part of the Paris Accord. Like, he doesn't talk against the real issues that are Canada versus the world. Immigration being one of them, the Paris Accord being another one. Like, why are we talking about the carbon tax when we don't talk about the Paris Accord? He's never talked against it. He never said that we should withdraw from it. He always dances around the question and never really answers it. So at this point, it's it's very easy for us to blame Carney for everything, to blame Justin Trudeau for everything. But the Conservatives out there need to grow a pair of balls too and start calling out Poilievre for what he is, a weak leader. Because these type of things, I don't understand how people are still behind him when that's the drum he's beating. Nothing on Bill C2. Nothing on the Paris Accord. Nothing on the fact that our prime minister just said that he's ready to put boots on the ground of Ukraine. Nothing on the fact that I have a video of Carney saying that we need to defend Latvia if something happens against Russian aggression. Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
We don't.
No, but Russia's not attacking Latvia. So what the fuck are we talking about? What are we talking about? So,
I mean,
why is Poilievre not talking about this when I'm talking about this shit every day? And the responsibility falls onto the other conservative content creators out there. I'm not going to call them out by name because they have the rights to do what they do. But we cannot expect this to change if all the people that are voting for conservatives will vote for them no matter what, just because they're not liberals. I'm starting to see, you know what? I've never thought about it this way, but I need to find a way to describe the people that will vote for Pierre Poilievre no matter what. In the US, we call them MAGA. They will vote for Trump no matter what Trump does. I'm starting to see the exact same thing right here in Canada. People will vote for Poilievre no matter what he doesn't do. Because Trump pisses people off for what he does. Poilievre pisses me off for what he doesn't do.
Yeah, and it's it's just bad. It's bad politics. The whole point of politics is persuading the other side, right? Of course, you don't want to lose your numbers, but you do want to say things and go on issues that you can actually move the needle on. Carbon tax is not one of them. You're not going to convince any liberals to come over to this side. There are no liberals who are like, okay, I'm more or less I agree with most liberal positions except for that carbon tax. There's just none. But there is a ton who are like, I agree with most liberal positions, but I'm getting real uncomfortable with the trans stuff, or getting real uncomfortable with immigration. Those are issues where you are not going to lose any of the conservative. And frankly, you'll actually probably make them much happier because a lot of conservatives are frustrated that he's not talking about immigration. Yeah. He's not talking about healthcare. You are going to persuade a large number. He doesn't want to actually win. It seems like he's very just comfortable right where he is, opposition. Right, he wants to be the leader of the second biggest party in Canada. And again, we're sort of foreshadowing a little bit. He could prove us wrong by going and talking about these issues, but I got a feeling, and we're going to make this prediction here. This carbon tax thing is going to suck up all the oxygen in the room for the Conservative Party. That's all they're going to talk about. That's all they're going to talk about, and it feels like. And this is in support of your controlled opposition or uniparty argument, that he called up Carney and was like, all right, I'm here in Ottawa, Mark. Let's get together. What are we going to fight about? What are we going to do to make it look like we're really at each other's throat? And Mark's like, I could come up with a new carbon tax. And Pierre's like, gold, Jerry, gold. And that's it. Gold, Jerry. And that's it. And now...
Ovalstein. I'm a big fan of Seinfeld, bro. I love this shit. But this is, if I not only do I believe in controlled opposition, I also believe that they change the news cycle when they need to. And Carney
To make it
being
seem
in
like there's
Europe,
constant battles, right?
no, to erase what's going on. We have such a short memory. The news cycle is so fast. There's so much information all the time that Mark Carney can see that he's diving in the polls, that something's going on because he said something stupid. And then they're like, hey, carbon tax. Oh, shit. Let's talk about the carbon tax.
Yeah.
And then, oh, let's forget about what's going on with
Everything
the
else.
old. Exactly. So this is the thing. Not only do I see controlled opposition, I also see them working at changing the news cycle, change the news cycle, because you'll never be able to convince me that a conservative leader would not speak against sending troops to Ukraine, that he wouldn't speak against giving them $6.3 billion when people at home are suffering. You can't convince me that a real conservative party will not speak against immigration and say, this is not the type of immigration that made Canada great. This is the type of immigration that is destroying Canada. Women don't have penises. They're so easy. They're all low-hanging fruits.
It's shooting fish in a barrel, and he's refusing to do it. It's taking candy from a baby, but the baby's beating him. He's fighting. He's not even fighting. He's just not even trying.
He's not even fighting. Please, baby, give me.
He's just candy, looking at it. He's like, he just looks at it. He's like, no, I can't take that baby.
Yeah,
see the arms on that baby?
Take the baby. But see, Cornelius is saying something that I agree with. Man, like, content creators are the new mainstream media.
We are the new media.
No. Some content creators are becoming the mainstream media.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have such big, like, not that I'm accusing her of doing that. I'm just using her as an example because we spoke about a video that she did with Pete Okra a few weeks back. Remember when Pete Okra, the ambassador of the US to Canada, went on CTV News? They had something like 20 or 40,000 views. Jasmine Lane from her fucking living room records with him, gets 10 times the view, and she has 40, like, she is 100, let's call it 200,000 followers. CTV News, I think, has 4 million. So not only is she a fraction of their size, she got 10 times the views. So right then and there, mainstream media is losing a battle to a woman recording in her fucking living room. And I'm not saying that she's not great. I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying she's recording from her living room with a few $1,000s of equipment, probably has a couple of people in the back end doing her content, like revamping it afterwards, cutting it off like before she publishes it, compared to mainstream media that are taking hundreds of millions of dollars from taxpayers' money every year.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse because of the mainstream media's audience, they're all 60 plus. So, they're dying off. They're not getting replaced. And you know how we did, I say we, I just mean content creators. We did this not by doing any, hocus pocus or magic shows. All we did was really, we actually did what the media said they were doing, which is just report the news. And if we have a bias, we're honest about it, right? There's no issue with that. Everyone has a bias. The problem is the media has this cult of neutrality that they think, or I don't know if they think it, but they say it, that they do. They will pretend they're neutral while they are not. And people don't like that. To your point about like Ukraine, again, and that goes back to my point about persuadable issues on the other side. That is an extreme approach, and I'll give Pierre some free political consultations advice here. Call the warmongers. No, we're not sending more Canadians to die for these warmongering liberals. That is a persuasive argument to a large chunk of the liberal base. Not like the far left activists, but just regular ass people who are out there, probably don't pay that much attention. They vote for Carney. He seems like the adult in the room because they don't pay that much attention. But they do understand, no, of course I don't want Canadian troops to die in a war that has nothing to do with us. They understand what a warmonger is. That is a way that Pierre can signal too. We're not that same old school warmongering conservative of 40 years ago, of 30 years ago.
Have some balls and call him a dictator.
Yeah, exactly,
The
right?
balls to say if Zelensky wants more of our money, he needs to run an election first.
Yeah. I mean, that is putting exactly. That's a great point.
Yep.
That's a great political argument
It's a
because
win-win.
you can't argue it. And the thing is, it's one of those things where it informs as well as it persuades, because there's a lot of people who be like, wait a minute, they're not running elections over there? Let me check this out. And they're like, holy shit, they're not. That's how it works. That's how you persuade people. But he's not interested, right? All he cares about is the optics. And we should bookmark this little rant that we've both been on in the last 20 minutes, because I got a feeling this is going to come out. This is going to play out exactly how we said it. He is not going to talk about anything else except for the carbon tax. When it's an issue we already know, of course, he opposes. And you're not going to persuade anyone on the side, but it's very safe. It doesn't move the needle, doesn't rock the boat. And it seems like that's what he wants. You know, as Logan White says, there are liberals and soccer mom fans in the GTA who want the right to carry. Sure, there are, and you know that's also related to immigration.
Self-defense. That's another one that he should have, because this ties up
castle doctrine,
crime. No, but crime rates.
Yep.
Self-defense. They tie up together very, very easily.
Look, go ahead.
I don't know who runs his platform, who's telling him what to say, but they all need to be fired. They all need to be fired. I don't think he's the man for the job at all. When I say I don't think, he's not the man for the job whatsoever. I don't believe that he has what it takes. Even if he had the great people around him, he does not have what it takes to be able to freestyle. We saw it with the video that we showed earlier. Divers dive. Divers were diving. Oh shit! Really?
The divers were diving.
God damn! Are you overheating here? Is that?
Yeah.
But he's not the guy. He's not the guy.
No, he's not.
But I have to take this comment because this is my tattoo guy.
Oh.
So details art and tattoo. Dan is saying when a PM is a banker in a high rank from WEF, it's the first red flag. Wake up, people. Yeah. I've been saying this forever, and I agree with you, Dan, 1,000%. So if you guys are ever in the Ottawa/Gatineau region, free heads up. This guy's awesome. Reach out to this guy. His tattoos are awesome. Most of my tattoos come from this guy. Yeah.
I'm actually been looking to get a bunch of work done over the next couple months. So
well, hold on. He doesn't do a lot of gay stuff.
Oh.
Dan won't do the penises.
Yeah. So I'll have to find someone else to tattoo a penis on my forehead.
No, I was saying getting tattooed there. Okay.
Oh. But yeah, no, it's
Oh, you got confused there for a second.
Yeah,
got all excited for a second.
Short-circuited. I did want to take a comment here because it was a new. Bob says new hair from Ottawa.
What's going on, bro?
Bob. Yeah, nice
haircut. Love your hair.
Yeah, you'll fit in here. Bunch of baldies.
Yep.
Lori says, I'm always looking for new, real conservative content in social media. Well, to be fair and clear, this is not a conservative show. This is a truth-telling show. That's all we are. Just truth tellers. We're noticers, if you want to call it that. I'm actually a liberal. There's a lot of my takes that you probably won't agree with. But welcome to the show. If you stick around, I think you'll see that really more so than the label of liberal, conservative, right, left, what we're really after is common sense people who can get together, have debates about the issues of the day in a respectful way. And one thing that happens when you do that, when you drop the slogans and just come to each debate with good faith, you actually realize we've got a lot more in common, a lot more common ground than we might think, certainly than the media would have us believe. So welcome to the show.
That was Lori, right?
Yeah,
but Lori, I'm going to tell you, I'm a Christian conservative, so I'm the complete opposite side of where Rob is, but we speak a lot about those 80-20 issues.
Mm-hmm.
So there's things that Rob and I will never agree with, and we'll never agree. If they're in the news, we'll talk about them and we'll disagree. Like yesterday, we disagreed on AI, and we disagree all the time. It's just we agree more than we disagree. That's the whole point of the show, right? Is to show that the bell curve is pretty good. Like 65-70% of people agree on most things, and the rest are the fringe that we pay way too much attention to.
Exactly. They drive the boat, but they should be ignored.
Yep. But welcome. Hopefully you stick around. Guys, if you're on Next, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to reshare the stream. But, and if you're on Instagram, do the same, like, comment. But if you guys really want to be part of the conversation, join us at the Poli Orphans on YouTube. All the comments that you see right here, there's always great chat every single day. but this is where we pull our comments from. So make sure to join us at the Poli Orphans on YouTube. Once you're there, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. And if you believe in independent media, we do have a membership plan, membership. I don't want to say scheme. That's so bad. A membership program. Program is better. A membership program is $2.99 a month. It's not going to do. Eventually, it's going to do a lot for us. Maybe enough to have somebody do all the edits for us, so I don't have to do it anymore.
Which would be nice.
Yeah, you're telling me that being a few hours a day. But all to say, if you believe in independent media, because both of us were not backed by anybody, it's literally Rob and I. That's it. There's nobody else. So,
and yeah, and
welcome
that's what,
to the new people.
That's what keeps us independent, right? It is those little donations from everyone else. Because then, we're free to just say we don't have any backers. There's no topics we need to avoid. We just common sense people just saying what we think. And the best way to keep it that way is to help support us, so we don't need to get sponsors or whatnot. Not that we
don't need to prostitute Rob again.
Yes, yeah, because if someone does come up and they're going to pay us, we'll say whatever they want. I'm just joking, of course.
No, Rob's a I was more talking about you'll have to work the corner again.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's I'm not going back to that life. Logan says, Rob and Nico, did not want to touch my comment earlier from liberals and soccer moms. Brother, you must have been in the bathroom, because 5 minutes ago I literally took that comment and I said, as Logan White says here about liberals and soccer moms.
And we agree.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of education that needs to be done as a legal gun owner in Canada. Most people don't understand what it is. Even Rob, that's ex-military, he's always blown away when I talk about how stupid the red tape is in Canada. So there's a massive amount of education that needs to be given to people so that they understand what it is to be a gun owner in Canada, what it takes. But that's another thing that Pierre Poilievre should talk about, because that could tie up very easily with crime rate, castle doctrine, right to carry. Pop. That's an easy. And every single, like the NFA, the CRR, the CRS, I can't remember. There's two main gun lobby in Canada, the NFA and another one, CRR something. I just can't remember what the last part is. But all to say that they both voted for Pierre Poilievre. So again, that's a 90-10 issue for Pierre. He's not going to lose anybody on his side to talk for gun rights.
And there are some that will be persuaded on the other side.
CCFR. Thank you, Logan. CCFR. That's the
that's right. That's right. People who vote for liberal, they also don't want to be robbed, and they don't want their kids and wife to be murdered either. Right? This is an issue you can move the needle on. And just to the topic we were just talking about a second ago, there's a great comment by Joe.
To the topic we were just talking about?
To the topic of the topic that we were just
Divers dive, bro. Yeah. Divers dive.
That'll be the new one. Joe says, I'm 70 degrees to the left of Rob, and I'm still welcome here. The secret is to debate the ideas, not the people. And that's exactly what it is. Essentially, what the show is trying to do is give a model for how to discuss political and cultural issues, which are obviously very emotionally invested. It's very difficult to have those conversations without someone getting offended or whatever. Yep. And that's what we're trying to do, is create that kind of a space where, as Joe says, we debate the ideas, not the people, right? The idea is king here on this show.
100%.
And that's,
but do your work, because I will call you out. If you're saying something dumb, I will call you out. And
absolutely.
We'll have a conversation about it.
And you guys will call us out as well.
And it's not disrespectful. I don't do it in disrespectful way, but I will call you out because I like to have civil discourse. Yeah. I really, really love to have debate with people. And Logan, we'll address this before we actually move, because gun rights is one of my favorite things to talk about. But Rob, there's two ways: open and conceal. The problem is, though, I spent a lot of time in the U.S., especially states in the South, like Texas, Alabama, Arizona, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and that open carry, I don't like it. I don't like open carry. To me, it's dumb because you're advertising to people what you have. It's like me walking around with, I have 20 years of experience in martial art. You don't advertise that shit. You keep it to yourself so that if somebody crosses that line, you know how to deal with it, but you're not advertising it. Because that gun, I've seen open carry in the US, but it's rare. Very, very rare compared to concealed carry. Like open carry is too obvious. Like it's
Well,
almost like you're trying to make a statement, and it's not a
yes.
statement, in my opinion, that needs to be made. I'd
Yeah.
much rather people don't know what I'm capable of than advertising that I'm a tough guy.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I'm definitely a supporter of weapons or guns as tools and for self-defense. But I mean, certainly, I feel like with open carry, you're always going to get a couple douchebags who are going to use it to intimidate, and I don't think that that's necessarily of value. The other argument, I guess, in favor of concealed is that if it's concealed carry is the law of the land, then everyone is kind of protected by that because you don't know who's got a gun and who isn't. So you're much less likely to mess with someone if you're a bad guy. But if it's open carry, you can just avoid the people who are carrying, and then someone who's not openly carrying, you know he doesn't have a gun. So there you go. So yeah, I mean, I am in favor of my only issue. Like I'm pretty liberal on gun right. When I say liberal, I mean actually like more towards the conservative side. The big differentiator, I think, is I'm definitely in favor of, you know, strict registration. Like I think everyone should have to register their weapons and reasonable training, as in training designed actually to teach people how to use a weapon, not designed to be bureaucratic red tape. But other than that, once that's done, you know, I believe that, of course, people should be able to have tools to protect themselves, to protect their family, protect their property.
I don't believe in registrations whatsoever, but I believe in training.
Sure.
Because I did my black badge, which allows me to compete in a 3-gun situation. And this is something you need to always do. If you're not competing, if you don't compete within a year of doing your black badge examination, which is 2 days, you're 2 days on top of the training that you get through your non-restricted and your restricted firearm permits, you lose your license. Like I don't have my black badge anymore because I didn't compete in it. I competed a few times, and then I'm like, I was still fighting back then. I was still training like a madman. I didn't have the time. But it's a very, very eye-opener. There's a massive difference thinking, oh, I can conceal or open carry and never had to do it before. When you start walking around the gun range with a loaded gun on your hip, you start to realize, like, I had a competition gun with like maybe 1.5 pounds pressure on the trigger, which you don't want to open. You're not concealing that gun. That's dumb. Because a little touch of the trigger, you just shot yourself in the leg. You don't want that. Yep. But all to say that I believe in training. I don't believe in registration, but I believe that you should be intelligent enough. It's like I'm a motorcycle fan. I learned a lot from doing the course. I'm happy that you have to do the course because, man, if you don't know what you're doing with a motorcycle, you're going to kill yourself. Yep. Like there's no, it is dangerous as hell and people don't see you. So you need to have your eyes open. But I'll just take this one before we move. But Alberta Nan is saying open carry used to freak me out until I spent time in Arizona, and now I'm all for it. It doesn't bother me at all. Like I don't care either way. I just don't understand. As a person, like from my perspective, I don't understand why I would ever open carry. Not only do I not like to advertise that to people, but you know, when it's outside your body, if you carry with one in the chamber, which if you don't, that's kind of ridiculous. That why wouldn't you carry with one in the chamber? Like you don't want to have to take your gun out, slide it, and then acquire your target. You want to be able to do it from the hip. But all to say, if you're carrying with one in the chamber, again, it's outside your body. So that means anything can just stick, boop, pull the trigger. Yeah, I wouldn't take that chance. I don't want to be responsible for shooting myself or shooting somebody else. But at the same time, I understand why people would. Even in your holster, you never know who's jackass can just take your gun either. That's the main reason why I wouldn't open carry. I don't want somebody to take my gun. I don't want to have to fight. Like, look at what's going on today. Just look at how stupid the videos out there are. Do you remember people used to knock out people on the street for no reason and they would film it? What's the next trend? We're gonna start stealing people's gun? Yeah, no, I don't feel like shooting people for no reason.
Yeah, I think
but I understand why people do it. I want that right too. Don't get me wrong. If you want to open carry, I really don't have a problem with it. Just be trained. That's all I ask. Just know how to handle that gun.
Yeah, and I think it should be required training and continuous, ongoing, not just something you do at the very beginning. Maybe once a year or something, you have to do some just very basic, just because, like all things, muscle memory is a certain thing. There's a lot of people who probably, buy a gun and know how to use it, broadly speaking, but they haven't really used it in 5 years. And then the moment
AKA
comes,
police officers.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But when the moment comes, your brain is not going to be thinking. You need to have some form of muscle memory where you don't think, you just do it.
Oh, and that applies to both Canada and the US. Police officers are not trained. They're not trained in how to handle their firearms properly.
Yeah, I don't know
Canada,
specifically.
Do you know that in Canada you don't need a police officer does not require a restricted license in order to carry a firearm? It's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing. I'm more trained than police officers on how to handle firearms.
That's really dumb.
How stupid is that?
Yeah.
How stupid is that? And they get to carry that stuff every day.
That's really dumb. New Dog says, as an armed guard for a FFRG, I'm not sure what that is, we're required to requalify every year.
Around and find out. No, I don't know. FFRG.
Yeah, and that's great. So you should be. And I mean, like I said, I believe in pretty strict training regimen for, I think, every person who is legal. I think people should, of course, be allowed to own
Freedom from Religion Foundation. That's what comes up when I say FFRG.
FFRG.
It's probably
He'll let us know here in a second.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think, like, to me, that's what I mean. Like, when I say I would differ with most, say, conservatives, because there are lots of conservatives who just think that you should be able to willy-nilly buy whatever you want, have no training. I don't agree with that. Federally funded research group, he says, basically secret squirrel stuff for the government. Well, that's interesting. I want you to sneak
on that note,
a hidden camera in there for us. Break some news here.
Hold on. Nico, you have confidence of martial art training to support you. The God, the God. I'm not sure, bro. One goes with the other. I guess my confidence comes from the fact that I know how to defend myself. Like, seriously, because I was not confident like that before.
Choosy Heretic says people drink at the bar while close carrying the individual. Hey, I'm all for, like, no weapons, no guns in a drinking establishment. That makes perfect sense to me. Or you're not allowed to drink. Maybe you can carry as long as you yourself are not drinking. That makes some sense. But yeah, I do not want people getting shit-faced drunk while strapped. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, but again, you're going to go with the same dilemma that who's to say that you're not just there to have one single drink. I don't get drunk anymore.
Well,
I haven't gone drunk
to me,
in years.
To me, it's a reasonable restriction. Like, if you're not going to drink, okay. It's the same thing as, like, if you're a designated driver, and the bartender knows it, he's not going to serve you a drink.
Oh man, we're going down a massive rabbit hole now.
Should we move on?
It's just this is something I can talk about every day, all day. I love this stuff, but
we should probably, because we've kind of, this horse ain't getting any deader. We have definitely beat it. But very quickly, thoughts on gunner's weed. I mean, I suppose you probably shouldn't be using your weapon while you're intoxicated on any substance. But other than that, I don't think that it really shouldn't matter. We have to be able to trust our citizens, right? To say, yes, you can decide when you're capable of, handling your weapon and when you're not. And of course, I'm also a believer in if people, are out committing crimes, or even just negligence or not paying attention or they're getting drunk and just shooting, then I'm all for, like, being very strict on that, like getting rid of their license or what have you. But, I think, I am certainly persuaded by some of the arguments that you've made on this show about gun owners and responsible gun owners. It really isn't the gun owners that are out there committing crimes. It's not really the problem. As I've seen it. So it just,
it would be exposed if there was a guy committed crime out there, he gets caught and he's a legal gun owner, it would be on every single newspaper. The government would take even more guns away, but it doesn't happen.
Well, and frankly,
try to find one. And frankly, outside of self-defense, the only time you hear about legal gun owners in Canada is when they defend themselves against criminal in their own home. That's it. That's the only time you hear it.
And it should be, we talk about castle doctrine law. Of course, that should be implemented. But if you're a gun owner, a legal gun owner, of course you should be allowed to use your weapon to defend yourself. That should be enshrined in law. And also, it occurs to me that there's probably a law law and order mechanism to this aspect where people will be less likely to commit, minor crimes if they know that their gun license will be taken away, or they won't be able to, if they're a legal gun owner, because that's important to a lot of people. Most legal gun owners want to be legal gun owners. So it just gives a little bit more incentive to be a good citizen. So what's not to like about that?
You need to be a good citizen in order to be a legal gun owner.
Yeah. With all the background checks and whatnot. And to be clear, I agree.
Day, man.
That's excessive. But I agree that people should have to, go for a background check. And if they have a history of violence, I'm all for not allowing that person to have a gun. That makes sense to me as well. But good citizens should be allowed to carry guns. And we should not, until proven otherwise, the default should be to assume that a good citizen will continue to be a good citizen.
And not only that, but why I would love for somebody on the Conservative Party to talk about this. An armed society is a polite society. When people don't know the type of weapons or the type of skills that somebody possesses, people are more polite. This is plain and simple. I was just watching a video from the US. There's road rage. There's a guy that comes out of his car waving his gun around. The guy, all you see is pop. He gets shot right in the chest. The guy dies. Obviously, I'm assuming that he died, but the way he collapsed. But that's the thing, right? You don't know. When people are allowed to have guns, people are a lot more polite because you do not know who the hell you're dealing with. You have no idea.
And it's going to be the criminals that are going to think twice. The people who we want them to be thinking twice, right? Right now, they don't need to. Lori Dodd says,
okay, one more, then we stop it. Then we really stop it. This is it. This is it.
Yeah, this is it. Speaking as a rural resident, firearms are a tool. All tools can be dangerously operated without proper instructional practice. Exactly right. I mean, we need to, and I'm speaking to fellow liberals, we need to just strip the moral aspect of it. Like, weapons are not, guns aren't inherently evil. They are a tool. A hammer is not inherently evil, even if someone used it to crush someone's skull. The person doing it is evil. Or depending on the context, I guess. But yeah, the point is like, we just need to look at it rationally and without all the slogans and dogma attached to it, and just say this is a tool. It's a dangerous tool. Like an automobile is a dangerous tool, but it's also useful.
People would. There's a lot more Americans that died from car accidents than they do getting shot.
Yes, and exactly. And automobiles are useful tools, but they are dangerous, and that's why most people understand that there needs to be some sort of a licensing process, and we are okay with that. Weapons are the same thing. They are a potentially dangerous tool, but they are useful as well. And as long as there's a reasonable, licensing and training aspect attached to it, I think that we should absolutely loosen our gun laws.
Yeah. As much as I don't believe in the same gun laws as you do.
And we'll disagree on that part. We'll disagree on that part.
But I agree with 80% of it to say that we are the safest Canadians. Yeah. You can trust me that to not commit a crime more than anybody out there just because I'm so checked. Yeah. And like you said, it's very important for me not to lose my gun rights.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that just, it provides a little bit more incentive for someone who, might be tempted to commit some sort of crime somewhere and think twice, right?
Well, next subject.
Yeah, let's move on.
I found this graph this morning. I found it interesting. It's from Market Mania on X, saying investors are fleeing Canada for the first time in 35 years. Canada faces a net divestment crisis. And this is not good because we spoke about this a few weeks ago, right? Maybe a month ago, when the numbers started showing that we were seeing divestment, and most of them were ending up where? In the US. And now the new numbers are out, but look at this. This is from January to June.
I'd be interested to see the monthly graph, to see when it picked up within the year, because it wouldn't surprise me at all if it really picked up around April.
It picked up when Carney started. Yeah, it started. No, but when Carney entered the conversation in January is where it started.
Okay.
Because again, if you're a smart investor, you try to read the signs. You try to see what's going on. When you see a guy like Mark Carney, You read his book and you're like, I'm not going to leave my money there. So if you looked, it started in January. When we spoke about it, this is all the graphs I had. It started around January when he first entered the conversation. But I just wanted to show this, as people like to have a nice, a pretty diagram, a pretty graph. But first time in 25 years. No, sorry, 35 years.
Wow.
That we're seeing a net divestment. Yeah.
Negative. Yeah.
And it's interesting because if you guys remember, it wasn't just international investors that were pulling their money out and sending it to the US. It was Canadians investors that were taking their money out of Canadian companies and sending it to the US, because most of the money all going south.
Well, and you can, the best way to gauge what people really think is look at the money flows, look at how investment works, because people say whatever they want. A lot of the people who are at the cocktail parties, the elite cocktail parties in Ottawa and Toronto, are saying things that you would think that they're, very liberal, pro-Carney people, and then probably even vote that way. But I guarantee a lot of those guys are the ones whose money is leaving the country, because people say all kinds of shit at the cocktail parties. But they won't, dogma and political. There's no virtue signaling when it comes to your money, right? That's what you really think. And it's not even, I'm sure there's economists who be like, oh no, why is this happening? It's not that difficult if you think about it. No. The Liberals, as a party, are fundamentally bad for business. At least right now is the way that they're aligned. And I've said it again and again, but fundamentally the Liberal Party of Canada right now has a mindset. They won't admit this out loud, but their actual behaviors show this is how they think, that extracting natural resources is immoral and good and unethical. Yeah, not just like bad for business, which it's not a business decision. It is a moral decision. And that is the lens through which they make economic policy in this country. And frankly, if you are a nation whose primary wealth lies in your natural resources, that is a death sentence to be governed by a party who fundamentally believes it is immoral and unethical to exploit our natural resources. Now, like I said, they won't say that. You have to read between the lines a bit, but they'll put so much bureaucratic red tape so as to make it essentially impossible to do any major infrastructure projects that exploit and sell our natural resources. And that is when you have a party who thinks that way, you get with exactly what we've got for the last 10 years. 1% GDP growth over 10 years, not 1% per year, 1%, 0.10%, 1% per year would be bad enough. That would put us at the bottom of the G7 in terms of GDP growth. But it's even way worse than that. It's 0.10% per year. And the reason is because we are not using, or we're not playing the cards that we were dealt. As Canadians, as the country of Canada, the cards we were dealt is natural resources. That's where our wealth lies. And if you do not exploit them, then you will have a stagnant economy, and it's only getting worse. And that is why the money's leaving, because the investors are not stupid. They understand this.
I agree with you 100%, man. Sorry, Derek is saying it, best to shadow his investment moves. The thing is,
invested in America.
Politicians don't care about politics when it comes to their money. There's a good reason why 91% of Mark Carney's investments are in American companies, 7 to 8% are in European companies, and then something like 0.5% are in Canadian companies. Right then and there, that should tell you everything you need to know as to why Mark Carney is doing what he's doing. The U.S. are not the one losing money right now. They're not the one that the economy are crumbling. It is ours, and Mark Carney knows it, and he's investing. There's a good reason why his money is in the U.S. There's a good reason why Brookfield's head office changed from being in Canada to being in the U.S. prior to Mark Carney becoming prime minister. Those are not coincidences. Those are not stupid people. They're very rich. They're very good at making money. And Mark Carney is going to make a shit ton of it while being the prime minister. And one of the ways he's going to do it is through Ukraine. I was talking about it yesterday with David Creighton. You know that they've been invested in an IT park. They're part of the Advantage Ukraine negotiation to rebuild Ukraine. Did you know that, the video I played of Mark Carney saying that he was good with putting boots on the ground in the Ukraine? He started talking about drones. Brookfield's own 2 different companies that produce drones ran by AI. And yesterday he was in Latvia, and he was using a gun to take them down. So all I'm saying is there's a good reason why he talked about drones in his speech. This is not an accident.
Yeah, because that's not something that would be natural, right? Like it almost like he would have.
We're gonna put boots on the ground. Oh, in drones.
Yeah, it's like it's not an obvious thing. You had to kind of make an effort to include that. So yeah, that's an interesting point. And back to what we were talking about earlier in the show. When Carney's talking about putting Canadian boots on the ground, well, I mean, that's now we're getting, because we've talked about conflicts of interest a lot. We're talking about economic conflicts of interest. Now we're talking about like as serious a conflict of interest you can get, because now we need to ask ourselves, is he just doing that to protect? Is he using Canadian troops,
of course,
to protect his personal investments?
A la Cheney.
Yeah, well, exactly, right.
Cheney, like, anybody? Cheney?
Yeah,
no,
well,
no.
He's like Dick Cheney is obviously the textbook.
All coincidences.
Yes.
Coincidences.
Yes, of course.
Coincidences. Don't be surprised if they know each other. I'm not saying they do, but I'm definitely not saying they don't.
I guarantee they do. I mean, like we said, regularly, it's a small club, and we ain't in it, but they run in those circles. New Dog says, when investors leave, that should be a huge red flag to everyone. Canadians need to speak out en masse about this and not stop until the government makes positive changes. Yeah, because of exactly what we just said. People talk all kinds of shit, especially in elite circles. That don't mean nothing. What does matter is where the money's going. They're not gonna. There's no virtue signaling when it comes to their net worth, right? And to the point of what I was saying is like, yes, this is why the money's leaving, because the investors know that the Liberal Party is not going to increase the value or wealth of Canadian GDP, because they're ideologically opposed to it, or ideologically opposed to doing the things that need to be done in order to increase our GDP. But that there's a corollary to that. And that means that if we just were to actually do the opposite and start investing in our country and start exploiting our natural resources, all that investment money plus some more is probably going to come back into it, because now the investors are like, oh shit, there's actually money to be made here. Investors want to make money. No matter what way you say, that's what they want. But there's no money to be made in Canada right now. And if all it takes is a halfway not retarded politician to start just doing the very simple things required to increase the GDP in Canada, and all of a sudden the investor will be like, oh shit, we can make money in there, and it's going to pour back in. So it makes you wonder, right? Like, why? I'm like, we're not experts in any of this, and we can see this. There's just a couple of yahoos in our kitchen talking about bullshit all day. If we can see it, why do these smartest guys in the room, smartest guys in the world, why can't they see it? And of course they can see it. So then we go back to, well, are they doing this on purpose or not?
When is the best time to buy stocks in a company?
Well, usually there's a couple answers, but yeah, after it goes down, as long as there's strong, fundamentals supporting the company.
Look at Canada. We have the 3rd largest supply of oil and gas in the world.
If we
are 100% of our autonomy will be based on our natural resources.
Absolutely.
If we want to become independent, self-reliant, and not depend on the US for 75% of our exports, instead buy local, buy our own stuff, what do you need? You need our natural resources. Yep. You need our car industry. What's the best way for a guy like Mark Carney through Brookfield to get access to all of those fields, like oil and gas, like car manufacturing, like lumber, is to destroy it first and buy it cheap.
Yeah. I mean,
No matter how you look at it, if the goal of Mark Carney is to bring us closer to Europe, he wants to destroy our relationship with the US. He's doing it right now. That's the best way to get us closer to European, is by destroying our reliance on the US and having a reliance on Europe instead, not be self-reliant. Or the second option is to destroy our economy so that he can reinvest his money right here, get it cheap, and build it through being PM. No matter how you look at it, he's doing it for himself. He's not doing it for Canadians. He's not a Canada first type of guy. He's a globalist. He's an individual that wants to be part of a global nation. That's his goal. So however you look at it, what he's doing right now, he is continuing to do what he's doing to continue destroying our economy. Is he selling us to Europe, or is he just trying to buy it cheap with all of his banker friends? No matter how you look at it, it ain't good.
Well, yeah, and look, let's put it this way: whether we often, one of the ongoing debates is, is Mark Carney specifically, but just in general, our leaders, are they intentionally tanking, the Canadian economy? Are they intentionally trying to hurt it? And that's, of course, a debate that we could have. That we'll probably have that for a long time. But I think one thing we can certainly say is, if they were trying to do that, if they were trying to intentionally hurt Canada, hurt our economy, they'd be doing all the things that they're doing right now.
So we're not going to debate this.
Yeah,
I'm not debating with you. All I'm doing is trying to convince you that I'm right. Slowly, I'm bringing you to my side. I'm just,
and I mean, we
got cookies. We got cookies. So.
And we already agree on the important thing is that he's doing a terrible job, and there's...
Is it on purpose or not? It's on purpose. Is he doing it for himself? Yes, he is.
Well,
there you go. Argument.
Cab, I believe you're new here. Welcome to the show. He says he's a banker. He moves money on purpose. Yeah, I mean, that's what bankers
do. Of course. He ain't stupid. He's a banker, he's a globalist, and he's not stupid. Those are the three things to remember about this guy.
I don't think he's dumb at all. I think he's smart. And that's what I mean. Like, if I can figure it out, if we can because we're not talking about super complicated things here. We're talking about bread and butter economic activities. Exploit your natural resources. Build shit. Build export capacity to sell your energy to the world. That's all you got to do. If you do that, And like you were saying about like when's the best time to buy a company stock is when it's gone down because of, say, bad news, but the fundamentals of the company are strong. This would be like Canada has gone down in terms of like, the like that chart you just showed, investment in Canada. But if you just turn that around by doing some of these basic things, it would come back and plus some. Like, we could be the darling of the G7, but we're not. Because he's not doing the things. And again, he's not stupid. He's not a dumb guy. So if he was dumb, then you could just say, oh, he's just being dumb. But he's not.
Mike, what's going on? What's going on, bro? That's the same guy from MD Life yesterday. That's his real name.
Mike,
the guy that was asked,
brother. Oh yeah, what was that question? And we can even move on with that. What was it? If you just want to re-ask that, we can tackle that and then move on to the next topic.
What was your question yesterday, Mike? Just put it in there, we'll address it. And that color suits you better, you fucking homo. Shit, did I say that out loud? My apologies. No, I'm not. I won't apologize because I mean it. But pink is your color, bro.
Chris H says Mark Carney is not destroying Canada's relationship with the US. Canada moving closer to the EU is meant to do what Pete Hegseth said. Hegseth wants the rest of NATO to pick up slack in Ukraine. I'm not sure about that. I just think Mark Carney is ideologically predisposed to wanting to be European, and of course that means closer economic ties, closer military ties. To your question, no, he's not destroying Canada's relationship with the U.S. because I think it's strong and deep, and too strong and too deep for him to destroy it. But it certainly seems like he's trying to. I mean, he has done absolutely nothing to benefit or improve the relationship with the US, and he's been needlessly hostile. And I understand it's probably some political strategy, because yes, Donald Trump is very unpopular in Canada, and he thinks it's probably popular to be seen as tough on Trump. But that's bad policy. That's not good for Canada. That's cowardly politics, because it doesn't. Yeah, it might make a few liberal boomers feel good that Carney, stood up to him, but did he? He didn't do anything to stand up. He tried to be hostile. Trump said, "Fuck you," and it didn't work. And now every other country in the world, every other major country has a deal, a trade agreement with the United States, except for us. Now Mark Carney himself is pulling back on the elbows up, and now he's doing whatever he can, but he looks weak. He's not negotiating from any area of strength. He's just not. I don't think he's done anything good with regards to the U.S. Canadian.
Would be in a better place if he just shut the hell up from the get-go.
Yeah. Just, if nothing else, you don't have to improve it, but just don't hurt it. And he's going out of his way to hurt it.
Yep. So I'm not sure. I don't agree with your comment, Chris. This to me is all done on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. He's just destroying the relationship now. Is it to bring us closer to Europe? Is it for Trump to turn us into the 51st state? Because don't get it right. Trump and Carney know each other very well. They're buddies. Brookfield has invested in Donald Trump companies, so they know each other. When they met, just look at the video. You can tell that they knew each other. They're part of those are extremely rich people that are part of a club that we're not part of. Now, is Mark Carney doing it for Europe? Is he getting us closer to a WEF, global one world order? Possibly. Is he trying to get his investment back in Canada by buying it cheap? Who knows? But however you want to look at it, it ain't good for Canadians. And what he's doing, if we assume that he's not stupid, because he ain't stupid, he's doing it on purpose. So what's his purpose? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But no, let's take the question from Mike. Oh, there you go. Mike is about the low birth rate. Well, so what do you do? Because he was talking about, I remember his question. It was he was talking about immigration. So if immigration is not, so let me restate it for the people that weren't there yesterday. Mike was asking yesterday if immigration is not the solution to a low birth rate, what is it? What could be a solution? One of the things that, so the first thing that you need to ask yourself is, what is the reason why people are not having as many kids? Quick research, very simple. I did it when I saw your question. Here you go. So if you look at Canadian Affairs News, they report that the main two reasons why we're not having kids is financial. So basically, the number one is we can't afford it. We don't have the house to live in. Whatever the financial problem is, that's where the main problem is. So how do you address that? We have a housing crisis, supposedly, in Canada. What's the main driver of that housing crisis? It's immigration. We bring in too many people for the houses that we have. So you see how the immigration problem is a problem, not a solution. But at the end of the day, keep that in mind too, Mike. We were talking about this yesterday again. An average worker in Canada pays 43% in income tax. 43% of his income goes to taxes. That's insane. It's almost half of his salary goes to taxes. So what can you do to incentivize people to have more children if the main reason why they don't have children is because they can't afford it? Both. Give them tax credit. We've spoken about this before. Give them tax credit. Make it possible for them to not pay taxes on their house. What's stopping them from saying no municipal taxes for however long you have that children, like that child is below 5 years old? I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't have the exact numbers, but all I'm saying is you could give tax break. If 43% of our income goes to tax, imagine if the government just said, oh, you know what, you're going to have a child, your wife's pregnant, for the next 5 years, off we're going to drop, we're going to drop your income tax by half so that you can afford. How much does it cost to raise a kid now? This is how much we're going to remove. It's not going to cost you a dime, because we're going to give you back that tax.
Make having a kid be a financial benefit and not a financial
100%, 100%.
Um,
Right then and there, it's if we assume that the main reason why people don't have kids is because they can't afford it, what can we do without costing us that much money? It's tax money. Either way, it's taxpayers that are going to pay it.
Yeah.
Make it possible for them to barely pay for their kids by giving them tax break until they're 5 years old. I don't know what the magic number is. There's economists that can do a way better job than me, but if I can think about this right now off the top of my head, there's definitely solutions, and immigration is not the solution, because Mike, keep in mind that the people that we keep bringing in are not culturally aligned with us. 30% of immigration now is from India. They do not align with our culture whatsoever. And those motherfuckers will reproduce. Like, those people don't know what a condom is. They don't know what condoms on. They don't pull out like Rob.
They don't have these fancy birth control methods like pulling out. So I mean, I agree with your take there. I think, first of all, I think the birth rate problem is a very complex issue, and I think it's one of those things where I don't even know that, like, the polling is. The fact of the matter is that this is pretty much one of the most concrete lockstep trends in long-term trends in global history. Is once a country industrializes, the birth rate plummets, and that's true of Japan, of Canada, of South Korea, every single country, single country. And so I feel like there's a lot of complex issues going into it. And I don't think it is just financial. But I agree with everything you're saying. I just think, even if it didn't affect the birth rate, I think society, just as a values thing, we should be incentivizing having kids. Yep. We should be, societies put their money to the things they value. We should make it as easy as possible for people to have kids in this country and raise them in a healthy way, even if it didn't affect the birth rate, just because that's the right thing to do, that I believe. And I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I think it's too simplistic to say immigration is not the solution, because I think immigration has to be a big part of the solution. The problem is,
what I meant is that it wasn't the sole.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's just a lot of people think that, our birth rate is so low, we need immigrants. No.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be your go-to. It shouldn't be your go-to solution. Could it be complementary to tax
part of the
break,
solution, for sure?
Having a lower percentage on your mortgage rate. There's a bunch of things that the government could implement tomorrow that would allow people that are already here to have children. Can immigration play a role? Sure. If we backtrack it to 10 years ago, where it was really the type of immigration that are young families, young men, military age,
single fighting age men. No. So
you have a small family, you have a guy, his wife, couple of kids. The guy wants to come here, the wife wants to come here and take advantage of their engineering degree that they passed wherever the fuck it was and come here and work.
Yes.
She's a nurse. He's an engineer. Bang, bang. We should have all of them possible here.
Yeah.
But young families, right?
Exactly. And that's exactly my point. I do think immigration has to be part of the solution, but it's got to be the right type of immigration. It's got to be good, smart immigration policy, which means, as you said, we do not need to bring in large numbers of fighting age men from countries that hate us. We do not need to bring in people. People say, oh, well, your great-grandfather was an immigrant. How can you oppose it? Yeah, well, it was a different type of immigration. Did his great-grandfather come in here and hate this country? Did he come in here and try to change it from the first get-go? Did he come in here and get immediately on social services? No. Then we're not talking about the same kind of immigration, because that's what's going on now. So, yes, I think robust immigration it has to be part of the solution, but it's got to be smart immigration, which means you're bringing in high-skilled migrants, educated migrants, people who are culturally aligned with the values of this country, people who already love this country, who want to be here and contribute. And as you said, families, young families. Because for the most part, look, I've traveled all over the world. Yes, cultures are different, but once you really get to know people, you will realize that we do have a lot of fundamental things in common. The vast majority of us do want a better world for our kids. So if I don't know anything else about you, but I know you're here with a wife, 2 young kids, I'm pretty sure that your interests are going to be aligned with mine. You still have to share the values that this country is founded on. But these are the types of immigrants that are going to help. The kind of immigration the way it was 20 years ago, right? People who came in here legally 20 years ago, the vast majority of them are among the most patriotic people you will find.
They understand what it is to not have this.
Exactly. They know what it means to be here. They're not coming here to change it. They're not coming here to destroy it. They're not coming here to implement Sharia law. They're coming here because of what the country can offer them and what they can offer this country. And that is immigration as it's supposed to be. But we've gotten away from that. And that is the problem as I see it.
Man, there's some great comments here. Pay a living wage. That's something that Joe always strive for. And as much as I agree with your statement, maybe that the second comment kind of ties in with it.
Yeah.
Is it the reason that we don't have living wages because we're so taxed in Canada, and 43% is a massive amount of tax? It's insanity. But Laurie Dodd, I will disagree with you. It is not. We don't have a taxation problem in Canada. We have open border policies with a welfare state problem. We cannot afford to give our free social services to people. And when I say free, it's free to them because they never participated, because it costs a shit ton of money to do it. So it's not really that we have a taxation problem. We have a management problem. We do not know how to run our social services properly. This is the problem, is that the government is mismanaging our money left, right, and center. At the end of the day, we have a management problem. We have a governance problem, because there's no way in hell that we shouldn't be able to provide services for the people with the amount of taxes that we're paying. There's no way. It's just we need to stop giving that money away to people that didn't contribute, or to people that have nothing to do with Canada, like $6.3 billion being sent to Ukraine. How many times has that happened? We need to close our borders. We need to take care of Canadians first. Yep. Then figure out what's going on in the rest of the world if we can help. Because as I've used that example so many times, they always tell you on a plane, put the air mask on first before you help your children, because there's no point trying to help your children and you're fucking dying in the process. And this is what's happening to Canada. We're promising money left, right, and center. 1 out of 4 Canadians is struggling to afford daily necessities.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I really like that analogy that you use, because
you say that every time. I've said it about 20 times now on this show. You say it every time.
Well,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, so easy not to strain your arm, patting yourself on the back there so hard. But
don't worry,
the thing
my
is,
shoulders are flexible. It's all good, bro.
The thing I like about it is because it covers the whole gamut of whatever you're taking. Even if you're like the most bleeding heart liberal and you love helping other countries, you should still want to take a pause right now and focus on ourselves, because if we're successful and the country is wealthy and thriving, we will be in a much better position to help other people. Right now, we are not in a good position. There was a comment here that I really liked. It was about kids. Where is it? Yeah, Derek Sittler says, having kids is formative to personal growth and maturity. I think that's a really, almost profound comment, because I know a lot of people disagree, but I feel like, what's that famous saying? I don't know. It's like societies grow great when it's filled with people who will plant a tree in whose shade they will never sit in, right? That idea of looking towards the future. You will never see yourself, but you still care about it. And yes, there are some people who don't have kids and still feel that way. But by and large, the best way to do that, the best way to instill that value in people is to have kids. I never gave it, not that I didn't give a shit. I just never thought about the future in that way. Who cares what happens in 100 years? If I don't have kids. But as soon as I had a kid, it just changes the way you look at the world. It changes what your values are. Now I do care what happens 200 years down the road, because my son, he might be alive, right? My grandson, my great-grandson that I will never meet will be alive. And that's why it just aligns everyone's values in a way that, again, it's not a foolproof way. There's lots of real pieces of shit who are parents and lots of great people who are not. But as far as probably one of the best ways to align everyone's value is, yes, having kids. And that's why I think government should prioritize it. And they should be, again, this isn't a knock on single parents. Sometimes it's through no fault of their own. and they just have to raise their kids as a single parent, and they do a great job. But I do believe that fundamentally the best environment a kid to grow up in is with two parents that love them, right? And government should be encouraging that. There's nothing wrong with it. That's not to demonize single parents, of course, but it's just, this is how societies become great and stay great.
This is one of the points we're going to disagree with, because single parents do a terrible job at raising children. Just look at the statistics. It's absolutely horrendous, especially single mothers. Unfortunately, single mothers don't do a great job at raising their children.
Well, those statistics are why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying, sometimes
but
someone's husband dies.
This is something I talk about all the time. Yeah, but that's a different story. You can't. That is unfortunate.
But that's what I'm talking about. Some people just have no choice.
But you also said two people. I don't agree with two people. It should be a man and a woman.
Yeah, I agree.
That's another thing.
Sure.
Like we've had that conversation before, which is something we should. There's going to be an episode that's going to come out soon where I went to San Francisco a few weeks ago. It should be released in 2 weeks. I'm really curious to see how much heat I'm going to get for that one, because goddamn, I was not. Oof!
I do agree with that. A mother and a father in the home is the best environment for his kids.
Yep. 100%, and that's all I argued the whole way through. Is
especially young boys. Have you seen the stats that young girls generally don't do that bad in a single parent household, but young boys, they crater when they're in a single parent household.
But hold on, you got to be careful, because you cannot judge the outcome on the same labels. So basically, if you look at a boy that's being raised by a single mother, he's gonna have problems related to his masculinity. Mm-hmm. You'll see, just like I did, chances are he's gonna look for a masculine man somewhere without really knowing what he's looking for.
I know you're regular looking for masculine men, so I mean that makes sense.
Well, I do like manly men. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I do. I surround myself by strong men. I'm not saying, but all I'm saying is you're gonna look for it no matter what, right? As a man, you're gonna look for it. I did. And it wasn't until I was mature enough to realize what the hell I was looking for in the first place, because there was nobody there to show me what it actually meant to be a man.
Yep.
This is something. And then so you start looking, those are the types that are going to abuse drugs. Those are the types that are going to start stealing. They're going to commit crimes. They're going to end up in jail. They're going to be homeless. Those statistics don't apply to young girls. The young girls, you need to go check their emotional state.
Yeah, sure.
Being raised by two women is not going to produce a well-balanced heterosexual woman, because she never had the love of a man. People need to understand that men, their first love is their mothers. As a boy, the first love that we have is for our mothers. When you look at a little girl, is the complete opposite. Their first love is their fathers, and that will dictate everything for the rest of their life. The relationship that they have with their fathers. I've said this to so many young men. The first question you should ask on a first date is to describe the relationship with their father. Ask the woman that you're meeting for the first time to tell you what's the happiest memory that they have of their fathers. If they can't name one and they get pissed off, pay the bill, get the fuck out of there. She hasn't done the work properly. She's not ready for a relationship. Get out of there. But if you're like Rob and you want Friday hookups, those are the exact women that you need to go after, because they have daddy issues. But so this is the thing. We need to be careful to not judge. You can't judge how a little girl turns out monetarily, for example, because they don't tend to become criminals the way boys do. Our outcome is extremely different, yet the problem is the same. You don't have the two parents in the household.
Sure. Yep, I agree with that. As Joe says, 96% of prison inmates come from fatherless homes, right? I mean,
you look at you look at drug addicts, you look at homeless, you look at high school dropouts, you look at people with mental issues. It is insane, absolutely insane. And unfortunately, 90% of the single parents out there are mothers. Only 10% are men. And guess what? Men do a better job at raising children as a single parent, not because they're better parent, because we're the first one to recognize that we can't teach a little boy how to be.
They reach out.
If something, knock on wood, was to happen to my wife, I need to find somebody to take her place. Not as in my wife or a partner, as in my boy needs a strong woman
Or
around
if you had
him
a you had a daughter, you'd seek out a woman
100%.
somewhere. Whereas, yeah, a lot of
100%.
times the opposite's not going to, because I think a lot of single mothers to boys assume they can, they just don't need a man, right? And that's not, my whole point was, by no means should society or the government be demonizing single parents. Just obviously sometimes it's just something happens and life works out. But I'm just saying there's nothing incentivizing or encouraging, if you want to call it a nuclear family, where a child is raised in a loving home with a mother and a father present who care about them, encouraging that or incentivizing that in no way demonizes any other situation, right? That is just the ideal. Now, obviously in life, sometimes we don't get the ideal, and it is what it is. We do the best we can, but there's nothing wrong with holding up an ideal that should be striven towards.
On the contrary, you can't deal with exceptions. We cannot set expectations based on exceptions.
Of course.
You have to do it as the norm. As 90% of the cases or 85% of the case, whatever that turns out to be. Are we continuing? Because
I think there's a lot of great comments. I know, but there's probably 2 or 3 we'll take, and then we'll
because all the rest of the comments are shit. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yeah. Robin says single mothers have a tendency of contributing demasculization of their sons because of the broken relationship. Joe adds, especially when the son bears a strong resemblance to the father. Yeah, there's a whole lot to unpack just in those 2 comments there. But and again, it's not everyone, it's not every relationship, but as Nico just said, exceptions, you can't make policy based on exceptions.
It's the vast majority.
Broadly speaking, there's a lot of truth in that statement. And it isn't because they don't love their sons. In fact, many times they love them too much, and they just think that they don't need outside help. They don't think, oh, he doesn't need a male role model. He gets everything he needs from me. And of course, then there are people who think that, it would be toxic to have a male role model, which is itself a wrong-headed and toxic opinion to have. Because of course, young men need a strong male role model in their lives in order to be the best version of themselves as an adult.
Hey, I want to take this one because now I'm going to piss people off. Bob is saying, I was with an ex-married man and he was masculine as well. We would get asked which one is the girl. Ha ha ha. So safe to assume that Bob's gay. Okay.
Yes, he says, by the way, guys, I'm gay.
Duh. I think that was pretty obvious. Let me ask you this, Bob. Do you believe that gay men should be able to adopt? Because this is a question. I absolutely love that question. That's the show that I talked about that's going to be released soon, where I debated a lesbian woman, and I was telling her I don't think that gay couples should be allowed to adopt just because it's not the best for the kids. If we agree that it takes a man and a woman, that's the best of circumstances, why would we start those kids at a disadvantage? That was my point I was making with her. So forget the moral aspect of it. Just look at it for the facts. But Bob, I know it's your first time here. I'm not here to piss people off, but I do like to ask hard questions, and you seem like a smart guy. So yeah, that's a question for you.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you already answered.
It certainly.
I agree with you guys. See, man. So I don't think it's that bad of a question.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here he's had more context. I think I think my take is kind of what we were just talking about. I think the best situation is parents together, a mother and a father. Certainly, like, it's not anything to do with if Bob, if you were with a man and it was your nephew or something, let's say your brother died, and
that's a different story,
completely different. I think absolutely, because that's your blood, that's your family. It's a tricky question. I know. I think
he's just no. It's because if you can stop. Like, my ex had a son, so obviously the question is, was the mother involved? But then he goes, no gay pride. So that means we're capable of having a civil conversation. Between the two of us. If we agree on all of this, we might disagree on the main idea, but we agree on a lot of the portion of that of the topic itself. As in, there's exception. It's not. It sounds to me you're more gay men should be, but I'm more shouldn't be, but we're just starting, because you're saying if it's the nephew, that's the only people that are there. Should he be put in the system instead of being with his uncle? Now you're starting to ask questions that need reflection. So it just seems we start from, yes, they should, but I'm starting from the no, they shouldn't, but
you're not.
This is what's great about having that conversation.
There's a space for common ground, right? And that's what's great about this show. And certainly in Bob's situation, your ex's son. I mean, that's his son. That's completely different as well. It sounds like you're kind of no gay stuff, no gay influence on gay stuff in your home. Yeah, I mean that's I'm pretty I'm pretty on the same track as Bob here.
Let's change the subject because now people are calling out on something I wanted to talk about. So,
sure.
Therese is saying, Nick, Rob, have you seen it? It takes. Yes, I did. It was part of my videos. Of course, that was part of the deal. It's just
is that one of our topics?
I have about 12 of them.
Oh, okay, that's right. We went down the rabbit hole on the gay stuff, like always.
We've been down 2 rabbit holes: the gay stuff and the gun stuff.
Yes. The gay guns. Guns and the
gay guns.
The guns and the gays.
Yeah, exactly. The guns and the gays.
All right.
I still wanted to show what Mélanie Joly said to Pierre Poilievre. So we'll show there's 3 videos. So 40 minutes. We're going to do it fast. Just like your Friday nights, we're going to go through it fast.
Won't feel a thing.
Sure. That does not surprise me, but yeah, sure. Here is what Therese is talking about. This is
I want to hear this.
Daniel Smith talking about equalization payment, and the caption's pretty clear. Keep Alberta's money in Alberta.
Okay.
What a concept. What a fucking concept.
About tonight is Ottawa over. Do you want to hear the answer? Ottawa overtaxing us. I mentioned that at the beginning of the evening. That our program costs are 70% of all tax dollars. We only collect 40%. Ottawa collects 60%, and then they use political means to transfer it. Alberta, year after year, has $20 to $25 billion that is siphoned out of our system to go to Ottawa so that it can be spent mostly in Quebec, but also in other places that vote Liberal. We have been watching this for years. $600 billion in the last 40 or 50 years that have been taken out of this province. You don't think we might be able to do a little bit more on social spending if those $20 to $25 billion stayed here? You don't think we'd be able to cut taxes a bit if those $20 to $25 billion stayed here? It is $5,000 per Albertan that every single year gets transferred out of this province for political reasons.
Wow.
Liberals can continue to spend it in places that vote Liberal. That is what has happened in the province and in the country.
Spitting fire right there.
And she doesn't lose her shit very often, but did you see her face? Like, look back. I'm just gonna look this. She is just livid. And the reason she's livid, I'm going to let you guys know if you've never attended one of those, because Jason Levine, he's been to at least one of them that he covered.
Yep.
And it's just that people are calling her out or being very mean to her because she's going everywhere, right? She was in Edmonton, which is literally the only place that's not conservative in the whole province of Alberta. And a lot of people were on her case. And Jason's point was he's happy that it's happening to her so that he can see the people that she'll never be able to change their minds. As we're always talking about with Pierre Poilievre, stop trying to cater to the people that will never vote for you and cater to the people that are tired of this shit, that want something different. And Jason is saying that this is what's going to give it to her. There's people that won't like you. No matter what you do, you could literally tell them, I'll give you $1 million, and they'd be pissed because it's not $1.5 million.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Right? Like, they're always going to find a reason to be pissed at you. But I froze it at the perfect place. Like, look at this. She ain't happy.
To go sort of what we talked about earlier in the show, Pierre Poilievre is really bad at like persuading people. On the other side, you have that's a masterclass in someone who's persuading someone, because she used facts. She spoke certainly in a way that showed intensity and emotion, but not in a way that was like extreme or excessive. You understood what she said, but these are facts. And like she's saying, Alberta is sick of paying $5,000 per Albertan so that other provinces can buy votes with their robust and generous social services. They're paying for other provinces that have social services. And those same provinces, Quebec, are the ones who are making it impossible for Alberta to continue to sell their oil and gas. Whatever you think about Albertan separation, you cannot deny that they have an absolutely legitimate beef. And I don't want Alberta to separate, but like, I mean, we should thank our lucky stars that they're this kind of stoic about it and that they stayed in for this long. But like, if they do stay, we have to do a massive 180 about face and how we treated Alberta and how we look at Alberta. As you know,
know what I like the best here? Joe, the massive leftist, is like, she's my favorite politician in the West.
Everyone
not
on
in
the show.
Canada as an American.
No,
in the West. That is Europe to Canada,
Australia, Canada. Yeah. You know why? It's like last time we spoke about, we played a speech from her last week, and I said, you know what?
Yep.
She seems like the only politician, and I'll even echo Joe's comment here. The West, the entire West, who it just seems like she's just doing what she genuinely thinks is best for Albertans. That's
what
it.
Every single politicians out there should be doing.
Exactly.
Common sense policies.
That's it.
Done.
That's it. And like she's not getting dragged down into culture wars, even when she's talking about immigration, which was like the textbook culture war issue.
Yep.
She did it in the way she's like, listen, it's not about race, it's not about this. It's about there's too many bodies coming in.
It's a
their
fact.
skin colors are irrelevant. There's too many people coming in. Our infrastructure are taxed. Our healthcare is taxed. We need to be able to talk about this. And so like she doesn't go down. She doesn't get bogged down in the culture war, even when she's talking about some pretty culture war issues like immigration. She's just, I don't know. I'm just so impressed with Danielle Smith. Yeah.
No, I mean, Joe. No.
You can't have her.
No.
You can't have her.
That's the only one we got.
Yeah, give us give us one.
Fucking Americans. One. Fucking Americans always want what other people have, huh?
Yeah. Just got to take
you see Bob's comment?
Oh, sorry.
Come on. Bob,
which
Bob's
one?
Comment. This one
right
here.
I have to say this is my favorite podcast. I like hearing both sides. Well, Bob, I can already tell just by the comments we've had so far, you're going to fit in perfectly here. This show, if you see the thing, I am the liberal, technically Nico's conservative. Really, the label that really works here is political orphan, and that's the one thing we all have in common here. So glad that you found us, and I got a feeling we'll probably be seeing a lot more of you. But on that note, guys, remember
a lot more of you, guys. We do have a certain dress code, please.
yeah. Send nudes, Bob. But just on that note, guys, do remember that we are changing the time of the show. We are going to go to evenings,
prime time.
We're ready for prime time, baby. And we're going to go Sunday to Thursday instead of Monday to Friday. But we are going to this Sunday. We're going to start with
this Sunday. Sorry, I can't stop myself every time
8
you
p.m.
say Sunday. I'm gonna.
8 to 10 Eastern time is the new time slot. So set it in your calendars and your clocks. And hopefully, it'll expose us to a whole new audience. But, one of the things me and Nico have talked about is how this is probably the best way to do it. If you're going to go into the primetime slot is build a loyal following first, loyal audience. And we hope to see all, or at least most of you guys over at the new time slot as well. And also hit the like button. Yeah, you'll definitely fit in here, Bob.
Raja, the like button.
Yeah. Raja Jackson, the like button. That is hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and if you really want to be wild and support us, support independent media, please consider becoming a member for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can do that through YouTube. There should be an option there as you watch it there. But Danielle Smith. Everyone loves her here. That's the one thing that we can everybody
seem to agree on.
and you know what? I think that reflects exactly what we want the show to be about. Because her label is conservative, obviously. Like she's a head of she's a right wing politician. But more than that, she's just a common sense person who seems to be just approaching an issue based on what is the right thing to do for my constituents, and it shouldn't be rare. It's kind of depressing that that's so refreshing and rare, but it is.
But everyone, I guess Trevor Benson doesn't like that.
Oh, someone's always got to chime in. I hate that bitch. But fair. I mean, everyone Everybody. Oh, what, Joe? Are you talking about the time frame? You got to be with us, Joe. Come on.
Yes.
It's not past your bedtime, Joe. Oh, he's got his hair routine. He starts the conditioning and the lather, rinse, repeat at 7. So
yeah, we have cookies.
Lots
cookies. I speak French, but no French accent is common in Ottawa. See, I speak French because, again, I'm not retarded. Just so you guys know, it's not a speech impediment. I'm not retarded. I'm French. Or maybe I'm retarded because I'm French. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Joe, I see. Fastest to my work. Yeah, so if it's in the middle, that's kind of the problem though. Is it's in the middle of the workday, and not a lot of people don't have a job where they can, sit and watch a show for 2 hours. So I think one of the reasons why we made this move is to get into a better time slot that just really gives us a lot more exposure, I think.
Not only that, but I can tell you with a newborn, having I'm trying to juggle having the wife going back to work, having the newborn, having to run this, and being able to do it at the end of the day instead of trying to rush everything to be ready for 12, because I just don't show up. Like I take 4 hours a day of research, 3-4 hours to get ready for this. So it makes a lot of sense
at
the end of the day. It makes sense for everything, and unfortunately it would be extremely hard for us to grow more than what we've grown over the past few months with this time slot, because that is not prime time.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the good way that we did it, where we kind of got the show dialed in. If you go back and watch our first episodes, I think it was still good, but it was very rough. Very rough. We were
especially on that side. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've been doing this for 4 years. I had to.
You were a newbie.
I had to learn on the fly.
Noob.
But yeah, so we got 10 minutes left. Do you want to go get the next topic, or should we just take some comments?
We'll do the next one, and then we'll call it a day. We have to be good at finishing just at 2 hours or before 2 hours, but I already have it all loaded up here. Well, that'll be the last one for today. This is
hold on. There's some new tea just dropped. Mike says economy.
Yeah, because that's Mike. He knows me.
Yeah, he knows. I bet Mike's got all the skeletons. Economy is higher. Nick has to get back
I've known Mike personally for about 20 years, bro. So he knows a lot of shit about
Tell the truth, Nick. Yes. Oh yeah, I don't think anyone's surprised that Nico was a stripper at the gay clubs.
I'm gonna say this out loud, but the high school I went to, a bunch of dudes I used to hang out with, they ended up becoming strippers.
Oh yeah, like Chippendales.
In Gatineau, there was a place called Pigalle.
Okay.
And at the bottom of the Pigalle is basically one of the biggest strip club in that area, like Ottawa, Gatineau. And in the basement, there was a Chippendale type, and a lot of those guys became that. They danced, and I know at least 3 or 4 of them. And I got approached by the woman running the club saying, hey, you should go strip, because I was always at the gym. I wasn't fighting yet back then, but I was shredded, right? So people, I was offered. I've never done it, but funny enough, fuck you, Mike, by the way. I had to put that in there. And yes, I do Mike. I know Mike personally, so me telling him to fuck off is something I would say in real life. But can we move on now?
Let's move on. Let's move on. But feel free, Mike, to keep chiming in with more dirt, whatever dirt you got on Nico.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Mike, keep that in mind that I have the microphone. So I know a lot of shit about you, bro.
Mutually assured destruction.
But I'm the only one that has a microphone. Yeah. So here is, I didn't even listen to this video yet. I just know who posted it, so I trust the person. But Mélanie Joly told Pierre Poilievre to look in the mirror.
In Europe, the Prime Minister has been in Europe, and we heard from Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, who has been, maybe not a huge surprise, but a bit critical of what's been signed over the last few days with the Prime Minister in particular. And he says that the one deal with Germany on critical minerals is a phony declaration that is unenforceable with no money attached, and he's coming home with nothing of consequence. What's your defense of the government's agenda over there in Europe? What do you say to Mr. Poilievre?
I think Mr. Poilievre needs to look at himself in the mirror. When he's describing what you just said, I think he's talking about his own policy.
Why do you say that?
Because ultimately, he, as the opposition leader, has been talking a lot, but with no action. Never did we hear him that we should get to 3.5% of defense budget. Never did we hear him talking about the fact that our armed forces should get a pay raise.
You're the government
to recruit better and to make.
Why
sure
would
that
he
we
talk
could
about
support
what you're
our
supposed to
strong men
do?
and women. Never did we hear that we should increase defense
Hold
procurement.
on. What did she say there?
In order to recruit
she
better.
says,
No, hold
Never
on,
did
no. Rob, it's okay. Just give me a second. She said something about women. She had to virtue signal because that's what the airhead that is Mélanie Joly does. But
At a pay raise in order to recruit better and to make sure that we could support our strong men and women. Never did we hear that we should increase.
okay, whatever. But the whole point, the reason why I wanted to show this video is not to listen to her speak for 2.5 minutes. But what does that remind you of? Saying to your opposition or to somebody that questions your government
yourself,
to look inside. Exactly. Look in the mirror, Mr. Pierre Poilievre. Look within yourself, Rosemary. See how his minions are acting exactly like him. And I don't know if you remember this, but a few months back when they were in the 25 days that they worked since 2024, they were in session. There was a video that went viral of Mark Carney. He was sitting right next to Mélanie Joly. She interrupted him as he was doing something, and he just turned around and he shushed her. He literally just like,
oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. That was great.
How interesting that she has the same attitude, the same way of speaking as he does. Said nothing for a minute and a half, just to say, look within yourself, look in the mirror, Mr. Pierre Poilievre.
Yeah, and that's how leadership works. The top always affects the culture below them. And then the stuff that she's talking about, like those are all those are liberal policies. Why would the opposition leader be talking about things that the Liberal Party wants to do, and they're the ones in power? Like, what do you complain about the opposition leader? Just do that if you think it's the right thing to do. But yeah, just not an unserious comment by an unserious person.
Yeah. And she wasn't elected because she's smart.
No. She looks in the mirror a lot. You can tell, just making sure her hair's done and her makeup's done, because that's how she got where she is. She didn't get there from her. She's not the brains of the operation. Put it that way.
No, definitely not.
So that's
you want to take that Joe comment, don't you? Hold on. Like New Dog saying we need dirt on Nico. We're always ragging on Rob. That's so true. We are always ripping into Rob.
Yes,
but that's mostly his Friday nights, though. He gets ripped into. So
I do the ripping, brother. I do the ripping. Actually, how important is it that we stay under 2 hours? Because we got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, we if for us to get sponsorship and stuff like that, we need to be able to keep to a schedule.
Okay.
So
then
I'll just take that and then we can wrap it up. Nico tried to dance, but he kept kicking the dudes who were trying to shove tenors in his G-string.
Nico,
bro, I wouldn't kick people that give me $10. I'd kick them if they gave me $1. Bro, come on.
Yeah, Nico. Yeah, he's like, well, $10. Get that out of here. Give me. I'm worth.
They would like getting kicked.
Yeah,
they would like it.
All right. So
think about it. If I'm wearing a G-string, what do you think happens when you try to kick somebody?
Oh yeah.
The junk don't stay in the G-string. I'm just saying.
The tiny penis is in all its glory.
I just got big balls,
cold.
Bro.
The water was cold.
It's the balls. It's not about the penis. It's all like Zoan does. It's the bush. All about the bush.
All right, guys, we gotta end this. We gotta end this charade, this farce. We got about 30 seconds, folks. Hope you enjoyed the show. Lots of new faces today. Great to see you guys. Hopefully, we keep seeing you guys more and more. Remember the new time slot starting this Sunday, but we will be here tomorrow, same time as usual, 12 noon Eastern, ideally to 2 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, folks, have a great rest of your day. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.